What's going on YouTube? It's Giga here bringing you some more Series 9 Wi-Fi battles with live commentary. We're once again using this team built by Gilgamesh that focuses on a weakness policy Guzzlord that can be triggered with Dusclops. It does have a lot of cool options with other sort of maxes and things to play with. So let's just hop into the first game and see kind of what we're looking at. So game number 1, we have Regieleki with Landorus, Tapu Fini, a Porygon 2, Incineroar, and Metagross. I like Incineroar. This is actually a really tricky team. Regieleki isn't fun into Tapu Fini. I could do Incineroar Dusclops. I think that's a good option. Guzzlord in the back. And then probably Celesteela. Celesteela does have to worry about Incineroar and Regieleki, but Guzzlord handles those pretty well. So I'm going to do... Right? I think this 4 makes the most sense. The thing that's really tricky is the fact that my opponent also has a way to set up or, in my case, remove Trick Room. So managing how to deal with that is going to make this just like a little bit interesting overall, because it's just like I have to manage that Porygon 2, which I'm guessing they bring. Okay, so they're going to lead Regieleki and Porygon 2. So I feel like going for a... What am I saying? Going for a Trick Room is pointless because they can just immediately reverse it. And so they are going to get Frisk, which lets them know my items, which I don't think is a super big deal. I think what is the right play? Reversing the Trick Room is so obvious. I'm going to fake out into Regieleki and go for a Nightshade on it. I think at this point, I want to just try and get some damage onto Regieleki to really kind of set up. And basically what I'm hoping is what? If we can... Oh. What are they maxing? They could be maxing Porygon, which I mean is a thing that people do. Okay, so it is Regieleki, which is a little bit unfortunate. Obviously a Snarl or a Parting Shot would have been a much better option, but they are committing really early. And what I'm hoping is if they set up Trick Room with Porygon, expecting me to set it up as well. Wow, that actually did nothing into Dusclops, which is a really good feeling. But what I'm hoping is if they set up Trick Room basically for me, I can put myself in a really good spot. And yeah, we are going to see them go for the Trick Room here, which is really good. Because now what that means is I can Parting Shot into there, or I can Snarl. What do I have in the back? I have Celesteela and Guzzlord. I think I actually do want a Parting Shot into the Regieleki and then Pain Split into Porygon, trying to get some health back. Because now basically what I'm doing is I'm playing this interesting game of who is going to try and switch the Trick Room when. We're going to get the Parting Shot into a Lecky, which is good because that lets us bring out Guzzlord pretty freely. And now Dusclops should be able to live another hit from Porygon. And we're stalling out their max pretty effectively. They can go for another Trick Room here, which I think isn't completely unheard of. But yeah, okay, so given the fact that Porygon has not gone yet, they are going to try and reverse that Trick Room. We do have Dusclops survive another hit, but they're going to reverse the Trick Room. I think at this point, we could just go for Max Wormwind onto... Or let's go for Max Darkness onto Regieleki and then swap out into Incineroar. This is a really defensive Regieleki, Incineroar, which is a little bit frustrating. They are going to bring out Tapu Fini, which actually is a really, really unfortunate spot due to the fact that, what is it called? Actually, not necessarily, because we bring out Incineroar. So if we are able to, what is it called? If we're able to live with Incineroar, what that means is, I mean, I feel like the fake out into Tapu Fini is really obvious. So what we can do is we can go for an Ooze, fake out whatever they bring on the right, and then the subsequent turn protect as we go for a parting shot, which will let us bring out, what, Celesteela, and then try and use Celesteela to finish off the Fini. So they're going to Lightning into Incineroar, 202 down to 79, which is less than ideal. I don't think that's going to trigger the Berry, which is actually the really unfortunate part. But we do connect with the Darkness, hoping to pick up the knockout onto Aleki. But, yeah, unfortunately not close. But we do get the special defense drop onto the Fini. And more importantly, there is an electric terrain up. I still think Ooze onto the Fini makes the most sense. And then go for a fake out onto Aleki. Because now, okay, so they're gonna switch out, which I think is a pretty smart play. We're gonna see what their fourth is. Their fourth is also Incineroar. So yeah, this Tapu Fini is frustrating. Oh, and they're gonna switch out Fini. Okay, so they're gonna bring out Porygon 2, and Porygon 2 is now gonna eat a Max Ooze, and hopefully that'll let us set up Guzzlord for this endgame. Because now I'm not actually super threatened, I think, by either of what they have in terms of damage. So I'm in a pretty good position to just use Guzzlord to try and knock out this... Oh, wow. Guzzlord without the policy is not doing super well. But we are at +1. I think... I think I have to go for another Max Ooze, and they're probably going to fake out into the Incineroar. I mean, not into the Incineroar, into the Incineroar slot. I don't want to bring out Celesteela quite yet. I'm still going to go for the parting shot into their Incineroar, because I think I have to account. Okay, so they're just going to parting shot instead, which is definitely the much better option to try and mitigate how many boosts that I'm able to get. But this means that I can also parting shot into whatever they bring in and either set up for Celesteela or Dusclops. They're going to bring out Tapu Fini, and so I think that means I can pretty safely switch out to Celesteela and then go for something like the Heavy Slam onto Tapu Fini. What is nice, though, is we are lowering the Tapu Fini special attack. And now the question is, what? Are they going for Trick Room with Porygon or something else? Celesteela does get the Misty Seed boost as a result of the terrain, which also is really nice, because now we have a really specially bulky Celesteela against a Tapu Fini and a Porygon 2. That Porygon 2 does get back to full, which is a little bit unfortunate, but we do connect off a Max Ooze onto Porygon 2, which is going to give that Celesteela another... I mean, this is a physical Celesteela, just kidding. I was going to say, so Celesteela now gets the special attack boost, but that's pretty irrelevant. I think going for a Protect here, and then I could Heavy Slam. I'm tempted to Heavy Slam into... Because what? We know that they have Regieleki and Incineroar. So I think, honestly, an Earthquake maybe? Do I want to Seed with Celesteela? I'm going to go for Heavy Slam. I guess Heavy Slam. And what I'm hoping is if they're Eerie Impulse Porygon, we can take advantage of that. But oh, they are going to be able to bring out Incineroar, and that can do some work onto Celesteela. So yeah, I think Earthquake would have actually been the right call. The Feeny is probably going to go for a very obvious hit into. Oh, they're going to Calm Mind. That that makes things really tricky. Because now what they can do is they can Fake Out into Celesteela. And yeah, that's going to do nothing. So I do need Guzzlord to connect with a Sludge Bomb, but also still. I think, yeah, I have to double up into the Feeny. The Fake Out from what I'm guessing is Fake Out Incineroar onto Celesteela. Oh, onto Guzzlord, which also makes sense. They're going to connect with a second Calm Mind. So if I hit this Leech Seed, that's a pretty good position to be in, because the only recovery that Feeny really has is going to be, what is it called? It's going to be that Leftovers recovery. So if we can start limiting that and also setting up this Celesteela to do some damage, I think we're in a good position. The issue now is what? The issue is they can pretty safely go for not Dazzling Gleam, Moonblast. So I'm going to try and protect Guzzlord and then go for... I'm gonna make a really risky read and go for an Earthquake. Because what I'm thinking is if... Okay, so they're going to swap out... Yeah, that's what I figured. They're going to swap out into something to basically reset. We're going to be able to get the Protect off, but the issue now is if they Flare Blitzed into Celesteela, that they're going to Parting Shot, and it's going to be into Guzzlord, which is actually really good, because now this means that Incineroar has to take an Earthquake, and it's definitely not going to like that, and we just want to get as much... Oh, wow. I was going to say we want to get as much chip damage as possible, but that is not looking likely. Guzzlord is at -4, but I don't really care. There is one turn of Misty Terrain left. I'm going to... What? I can bring out Dusclops. I can honestly try and set up... Clops, and then I can go for a Leech Seed onto Porygon and basically force them to... I don't know. I'm trying to force an awkward position. I think this game is just really, really long. So we know they have a Baryon Incineroar. They're going to Flare Blitz, I think rightly so, into Celesteela. Celesteela takes that really well to the point where I think... Okay, so we do connect the Leech Seed. As long as Porygon doesn't knock out Celesteela, with this Ice Beam, we're going to go 64 above 0. That's all I care about, which is great, because now we can pretty safely... I think we can pretty safely go for a Protect on Celesteela, and then I'm thinking... I'm going to switch out Clops, actually, to Incin. Is that a smart play? This is a really... No, because, I mean, the double up is so obvious. I think the double up is so obvious into Dusclops that I want to switch out. I'm going to switch out to Guzzlord and then go for a Protect on Celesteela. This actually could be a very bad read if I get it wrong. So they're going to bring back Tapu Fini, and so I'm going to bring out Guzzlord. Guzzlord is going to have the option to immediately go for the Protect. What is a little bit tricky now is Porygon has switched out, so I don't have a good option for Leech Seed. Or not good option. I don't get Leech Seed recovery. And okay, so they're going to Darkest Lariat. Makes sense. Good to know that they have it, which means they most likely don't have Taunt. And so right now, the main goal in my mind is to try and get rid of Incineroar. Because what? I think they're going to... I think... Guzzlord has... What is... Oh, yeah. Celesteela has minus attack. I'm going to make a really risky read, go for a Sludge Bomb here, and then swap out to Incineroar. Because what I'm thinking is, if they go for a Calm Mind, I can go for a Fake Out the subsequent turn onto Tapu Fini to try and stop it from healing up. Or I think the Calm Mind is really obvious. The issue, though, is I'm setting them up for a really clear parting shot into my Guzzlord. But yeah, we are going to see the Calm Mind there, which means I'm guessing they most likely have Protect. They are, yep, we're going to see the parting shot into the Guzzlord, and that's going to give them a free switch. Unfortunately, there is the Misty Terrain, so I can't even ask for something like a, what is it called? A Poison with the Sludge Bomb. So they're going to bring out Porygon too. This is, we can connect with a Fake Out onto it, but I don't think that does too much. But yeah, we did call the Calm Mind correctly. I think I want to go for... I think this is really obvious, but I have to try and go for a Fake Out. The Protect is so obvious, though. I could go for a Snarl. I'm going to go for the Fake Out. I feel like they've been really aggressive. No, but yeah, that was super obvious. They're going to be able to connect an Ice Beam onto my Guzzlord, I'm guessing. Or they could Recover. Okay, so they are going to go for Recover. I think that makes the most sense. And now what I'm thinking is... we can Snarl and Protect. Yikes, this game is so long. I think Protect here, go for a parting shot into Fini. Right? Let's go for this. The fear, though, is if they go for another Calm Mind, which I think is very obvious. Okay, so they are just going to attack at this point, which is now a little bit like concerning because they're going on the offensive. And yeah, we are going to see Incineroar just go down. Porygon is going to Foul Play into Guzzlord, which is good to know. I think we can try and hope for a miss with Muddy Water, or I think everything is so slow. At this point, we have to play a little bit aggressive and try and set up Trick Room. I think I just have to go for it at this point. I gotta go for a Sludge Bomb onto Fini, and I gotta go for a Trick Room, and I gotta hope that I get it. They're gonna Moonblast. Okay, so that should go into... Oh, they're going into Clops, which is a very smart play. But yeah, they're going on the offensive. I think my opponent waited long enough and found an opportunity. They are going to proc the Policy, which is... I mean, it's nice, but I think it's too far too late, especially given the fact that they have Incineroar and... They have Incin and Regieleki in the back. So they can very easily just finish off Celesteela, even if I am able to try and stall it out. But yeah, I think at this point, my opponent does have this in the bag. And this was such a long game. This game, I've been recording for 19 minutes so far, just trying to play this one match. I still think Protect. Yeah, there's no way I can win it. I do have to be really aggressive. Protect and Heavy Slam the Fini, because what I need to do is I need to hope for a crit, and I need to hope that Celesteela lives. I'm guessing they're gonna Muddy Water, which was very smart, because now they have the chance to accuracy drop and they don't have to worry about the protect on Guzzlord. Celesteela lives, and it does get the accuracy drop, but yeah, I think that heavy slam missing essentially is going to finish the game, which is a little bit unfortunate. I'm trying to think, like, knowing what 4 my opponent brought, what could I have done? I could have brought a Moongus over Incineroar. I think maybe a Moongus over Incineroar would have made a lot more sense, right? Because then a Moongus would have had Rage Powder to do some redirection. I would have been able to put things to sleep using Spore, as well as having Sludge Bomb onto that Tapu Fini. It would have been a good answer to Regieleki, and it could have tried to do damage to stop their Porygon too. But I mean, yeah, that was an incredibly tricky match, and I think my opponent really was able to play it out much better than I could, and I was starting to lose momentum, and they picked it up with that Tapu Fini was able to pick up I think just way too much momentum, and the fact that I didn't have a really good response to it, especially when Guzzlord finished its max, like that kind of sealed the deal for me. But yeah, let's keep playing, and hopefully we can get some more good matches in as we move to game number 2. All right, game number 2. This is interesting. So this is a Dragapult with Terrakion, a Glastrier, Snorlax, Dusclops, and Indeedee. I think I have to bring a Moongus, because a Moongus stops the beat-up strategy with the redirection. I like a Moongus Tapu Fini, honestly. Right? I think that makes the most sense with the ability to provide redirection. I think Incin for dealing with, I mean, just putting on pressure with Intimidate. You also have Snarl, which actually is really useless here. I mean, Intimidate works on Terrakion, which is kind of nice. It deals with Glastrier, which is actually really nice. And then for a last? Terrakion, Celesteela is tempting. I think it can last in the end game against something like Snorlax, being able to set up those Trick Rooms. And I think Guzzlord is just a little bit hard to justify. I'm going to try Celesteela this match. I think it's questionable. I think, yeah, we're playing another really tricky team, and given how long that last game was, I think, yeah, that was exhausting. I feel like it was just constant. Every turn I had to be on 100% of the time. And so now I'm like a little bit more tired than I would like to be. Okay, so we're going to see an Indeedee with a Snorlax. And so I think I can put Snorlax to... but they can go for Follow Me, which is fine. I think I can put Snorlax to sleep nonetheless if they go for something like a Belly Drum. So let's go for a Spore onto Snorlax in case they don't do anything. And then probably switch out? Do I want to switch out to Incineroar? That's not a bad option, because then I can Parting Shot it and just, yeah, then I can set up the Intimidate to bring it down if it goes for something like a Belly Drum, and then I can Parting Shot it to further lower its attack and really kind of set myself up, especially given the fact that, but yeah, I think this is relying on Indeedee not being safety goggles. But it's not. Okay, that's really good. Indeedee is not safety goggles, so we are going to be able to put it to sleep, which means, yep, Snorlax is going to go for a Belly Drum. A Moongus we saw is faster than it, so we can Parting Shot and put it to sleep in like a really good position. So we can just go for a safe Spore and then go for a safe Parting Shot into the Snorlax, because we need, as long as Indeedee... Whoa, what is the berry it's eating? Cutsap Berry? I don't know what a Cutsap Berry is, but this is less than ideal. They are gonna get a... Oh, whoa. That was unexpected, but also very cool tech. And a little bit unfortunate. Yikes. Okay. Imagine if I had gone for a fake out there. Okay, so we have Tapu Fini and we have Celesteela. We know that they have Clops. We know that they have Indeedee, so we know two of their things are really passive. And so the question is, what is their fourth? What is their thing that like is going to be putting on a lot of pressure? And I'm guessing it's Glastrier, right? That would, yep. Okay, so the Indeedee makes sense. The Indeedee is asleep, which is also a really big deal because it means that we can hopefully try and prevent the Dusclops going for a Trick Room if we go for a double target into it. Because I'm guessing they have Glastrier in the back. So my goal right now is just to try and put on as much damage as possible onto the Clops. Because, yeah, looking at their team, I'm guessing they don't have Dragapult or Terrakion. So I'm guessing it has to be, what is it called? It has to be that Glastrier. So I still think hit into Dusclops, go for the Steel Spike onto Clops. The big fear of this, though, is the fact that if Indeedee wakes up, they can pretty safely go for a Follow Me and absorb a lot of my attacks. So what I'm trying to do right now with the Celesteela is set up a defense boost. So even if that happens, like we are in a good position. So what I'm thinking is, let's see. Oh, they're not even going for a Follow Me, which is interesting. And that did a fair bit of chunk onto the Dusclops. So I think this is actually a pretty good position if we finish. Oh, just kidding. I had a lot of faith in Celesteela when it was unnecessary. This is actually also a really bad position to be in because of the fact that Celesteela has Heavy Slam. And so the problem with that is it's not going to work on Glastrier if it maxes. So I need to knock out their Dusclops this turn, which I'm going to be able to do. And then, but it looks like Indeedee's going to have a guaranteed wake up, which is actually pretty scary because it means that they're going to be able to basically have 3 turns of max where I'm not going to be able to do anything into them. They're going to go for an Expanding Force, but it's not going to do very much. And then, yeah, we're going to be able to connect onto Dusclops. So this was actually a mistake. I should not have targeted Dusclops. I should have targeted onto, what's it called? The Indeedee, because now they can really easily bring out Glastrier. Yep, figured Glastrier is their last. I still have to try to go for the Steel Spike onto it. I don't expect it to work. I expect them to go for a Follow Me. And this is going to punish me really hard. Because at this point, Dusclops isn't doing anything. And so now what I'm going to need to do is I'm going to need to basically... I need to get off a Leech Seed onto Dusclops. I mean, not Dusclops, onto Glastrier. Or basically set myself up in a position where I can live some hits. Luckily, we are going to have Celesteela at +3. They are going to Helping Hand, interestingly enough. So what? They're going to Quake into Fini, which is good. Fini is going to actually live. So I'm guessing they think Celesteela is special, which I think makes sense. Like most people don't expect a physical Celesteela. So they're saying, hey, let's try and get as much damage as possible, which is going to let us freely go for... Oh my god. Why did that do so little damage? Yikes. Double yikes. This is actually okay, so triggering the policy was a very bad idea. Glastrier also is going to avoid the Muddy Water, which is a really bad position to be in. Feeny is going to go down next turn. So what? It's Celesteela versus... I think if I can get... Okay, so I have to go for an attack with this. I think if I can get the Leech Seed onto Glastrier, I should be in a pretty good position overall. They are going to go, yep, Helping Hand. So they're going to target into Glastrier. Not Glastrier, into Celesteela. Hailstorm, 168 down to 14, more than 0. And so now what I need is what? I need this Leech Seed to connect. It's actually not really going to matter at all. Glastrier is still avoiding this Muddy Water. We are going to get a really big critical hit on the Indeedee. And unfortunately, we are going to lose Feeny. So now what? I have to... Celesteela is going to barely live. But I think I'm going to go down to... I should be going down to a Hailstorm with a Helping Hand. And yeah, that not targeting into the Indeedee was a huge, huge, huge mistake. And it was such an obvious play. Yeah, if I had targeted into the Indeedee, Klops wasn't doing anything. Best case scenario, it was going to Brick Break to trigger the policy, but now we're getting constant Helping Hand, fear of redirection, and yeah, their policy plus Helping Hand. And Celesteela is going to, unfortunately, go down this turn. And even if I didn't, it was going to eat up the hail. So a little bit of a rough day, for sure. Hitting into Indeedee was such an obvious position to be in. Yeah. And I should have predicted something was up with the Snorlax the second I saw that it didn't have... a Recovery Berry. So definitely a little bit frustrating for sure. Because yeah, if I dealt with Indeedee, I think that would have actually been a really, really advantageous position, because then their damage would have been so much less, and I could have stalled out until the end of their max and then gone for those heavy slams into Glastrier. But yeah, I mean, that's fine. You don't win them all, and sometimes the best thing to do is just to keep moving on and push forward to the next one. All right, game number 3. And once again, we are running into the same sort of tricky thing from last time, which is Thundurus. So it is Thundurus, Kartana, Incineroar with Urshifu, a Landorus, and Regieleki. So what's really nice is this team is very, very, very physical. And as a result, they do rely on Thundurus in order to kind of help mitigate that. But the issue, though, is what? I think I need Trick Room here. I think Klops Incin, probably. I mean, not Klops Incin, Klops Amoonguss. Because what I'm thinking is if they max Landorus and I put it to sleep, that's really huge. I like Guzzlord. I want to bring Feeny. But that lets Kartana kind of wreck me. Yeah, because Feeny is such a good option into Landorus. Landorus, Urshifu, Incineroar. Even Thundurus because of Ice Beam. I'm going to bring Feeny. I think... Yeah, if I can get Feeny next to Guzzlord under Trick Room, that's actually a really good position to be in, because then I can use the oozes from Guzzlord in order to boost Tapu Feny's special attack and really pick up some big hits. So we're going to see, what are they going to lead with? They're going to go with Kartana and Thundurus. This is really scary. So we know it's Assault Vest Thundurus, which is a really good thing to know, because what that means is they can't protect and they can't taunt. So I'm going to go for a Trick Room here, and then I'm going to just Spore into Thundurus. Because the Rage Powder, I don't think... Rage Powder is actually probably the better play. Yeah, Rage Powder was definitely the better play. I feel like I've just been really misplaying today. And I think it's just because I'm really tired. Today was a really long day. And yeah, not hitting into Ndidi really, really, really cost me that second game. And that first game was so long that it's just a little bit difficult. So we are gonna see. We're gonna see that Thunderous Max, and I honestly think this is my opponent's best lead into this team because there's really nothing I can do because my answer to Kartana is Incineroar and my answer to Thunderous is Tapu Fini, and both of those just complement each other so well. They are going to get a speed boost, so that what the nice thing is I can bring out Tapu Fini theoretically. They're going to Smart Strike onto Dusclops. Dusclops is going to take a fairly big chunk, but we are going to get Trick Room off. And I think Guzzlord just doesn't really have good damage output. I think I have to bring Guzzlord. What's unfortunate though is Kartana is Steel type, so I can't even max Ooze into it. So I'm gonna Brick Break into Guzzlord, and then I gotta go for an Ooze into an Assault Vest Pokemon. Yeah, and it's a very easy double up into the Clops spot. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's this lead, honestly, there's nothing I can really do about it because anything that stops either Kartana or Thunderous loses to the other one. So what I actually need to have happen is I need to have a knockout onto Clops so I can get a free switch into Tapu Fini. They are going to protect Kartana, which is fine. I need Guzzlord to just try and do as much damage as possible. What I'm hoping is, let's see how much this Ooze does. So this is +2. If it does enough, because I'll be +3 with Stab. I think if I double up into Thunderous this next turn, I should be able to knock it out. They're gonna Knuckle into the Guzzlord, which Guzzlord takes it super well. The fear though is they still have Kartana, and Kartana does so much, but I think a combination of Nightshade onto Thunderous as well as a max Wormwind should hopefully be enough to finish it off, which is great because we'll be able to negate the attack boost that Kartana got. But if this doesn't finish it off, I think that's pretty much game. And thank goodness. Yeah, if that didn't finish it off, I think that would probably have cost me the game. So we are going to be able to get the attack drop onto Kartana, and that puts us in a pretty good position, assuming that we can live this next hit. We do have Guzzlord at +4. They're going to Sacred Sword in that. Thankfully doesn't take us out. I think once again unfortunately we have to double up into Kartana because I can't. I think Pain Split into Kartana, and then Wormwind into Darkness into Kartana. Actually, no, I'm going to Pain Split into Urshifu. No. Pain Split. No, I want to get rid of Kartana because I need Kartana gone. Fini can handle Urshifu really well, so I'm not actually worried about that. We are going to be able to connect with the Nightshade, and then we're gonna have Guzzlord. That's gonna finish off Kartana, and what that means is we do have a pretty much guaranteed way for Fini to finish off Urshifu using a combination of... Oh, interesting. they just close combated into. I'm guessing that was supposed to be into Guzzlord. Like, there's no way that they did that on purpose. I think now the correct play is to double up into the Aleki, right? Nightshade here, and then go for a Dark Pulse there, because I have Tapu Fini, so I'm not worried about losing to, what is it called? Losing to Urshifu, because even if they close combat and take out Guzzlord this turn, I will be able to use a combination of Nightshade and Moonblast into it the next turn to finish it off in the event that they have, what is it called? In the event that they have a Sash. I could have also, oh, even better. I was like, they could be double protecting. Yep, they're going for a double protect, which I think is very smart, given the fact that they probably, this is the last turn of Trick Room? That's what I'm thinking. There might be one turn left. And yeah, we're going to see Trick Room return to normal. I think that's actually really scary, because they can, have Aleki target into Dusclops. I think, still try and go for a Trick Room. I think they're going to have to have Urshifu target into Dusclops, right? They go for an Electro Web, and they go for a Wicked Blow onto Dusclops. So I'm going to actually go for a Dark Pulse onto the Aleki. I think this is a really hard read. We're going to see, they're going to Thunderbolt into Dusclops. Clops is going to live. They're going to Wicked Blow into Clops. Yep, makes sense. So now the question is, where is the Focus Sash? Because if we correctly call it, actually no. Oh no, we actually cannot. Oh no, that's bad actually. Because now what happens is, while Guzzlord is at +5, we still have Tapu Fini. The issue though is, they're gonna knock out. I don't think they can knock out Tapu Fini with one hit, right? This Tapu Fini does have almost max HP, but it does have a Life Orb. So I still think Moonblast here, and then a Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb is neutral. Okay, they're going to run. I think, depending on the item on Urshifu, would have determined it, because if it was a Choice Band, I think, nothing could have saved them, because Tapu Fini would have either finished it off or +4 Guzzlord, and then if they were Focus Sash, even then you knock out the Guzzlord, and I don't think you can finish off Tapu Fini. This was definitely a long series of battles, and like I said, I think I misplayed as a result of being tired and didn't do as well as I would have liked, but really glad we were able to pull through in the end. I think this matchup particularly was very difficult in the fact that, Kartana, Thundurus, I don't think there was really anything I could do against that lead, and the fact that I was able to kind of fight through was impressive. And we'll play one more round with this team tomorrow and hope to get some good games in. And until next time, I hope all of you are wonderful, and I'll see you then.